a camera feature that, right now, only exists on drones costing 3 times as much, shrunk down and bolted onto something that weighs less than a can of soda. That's the rumor sitting at the center of the DJI Mini 6 Pro leaks, and if it's true, DJI isn't just releasing another yearly refresh, it's rewriting what compact drone is even allowed to mean. Stick around, because I'm going to break down exactly which feature this is, why insiders think it's real, why DJI might be forced to reveal it earlier than planned, and maybe most importantly, why you might not even be able to legally buy this thing depending on where you live. There's a lot to get through today, so grab something to drink, because this is the deepest breakdown of this rumor cycle you're going to find anywhere. But first, you need to understand just how impossible of a position DJI has put itself in this time. Why this launch is different every drone company eventually runs into the same wall. How do you follow up your own masterpiece? The Mini 5 Pro wasn't a small step forward, it was DJI throwing nearly every flagship feature it had into a body under 249 grams. A full 1-inch sensor, omnidirectional obstacle sensing that actually works at night, a gimbal that tilts a wild 225 degrees, 10-bit D-Log M-Color. For a drone that fits in your palm, that's borderline absurd engineering. So here's the problem DJI's engineers are staring at right now. When your last product was already a home run, a follow-up with a few minor tweaks doesn't just disappoint people, it actively damages the brand. Creators expect a leap, not a patch note. And that pressure is exactly why the current wave of leaks is worth paying close attention to. This isn't rumor mill noise for the sake of clicks. The details lining up across multiple leakers suggest DJI knows it has to swing big, and the sourcing this time is unusually consistent. The sensor leak. Let's start with the part of this story that has camera engineers the most excited: the sensor. Multiple independent leaks point to DJI keeping the same 1-inch sensor size, but switching to what's called a stacked CMOS design. Now, stay with me, because this sounds like spec sheet noise, but it genuinely changes how your footage looks. In a normal sensor, the processing circuitry sits off to the side of the light-sensitive pixels, which slows down how fast the chip can read data. A stacked sensor flips that the processing layer sits directly underneath the pixels, so information moves in almost no time at all. What does that actually get you? Less rolling shutter. If you've ever flown a mini drone past a moving car, a rotating fan, or panned quickly during a reveal shot, you've probably seen that horrible jello-like wobble where straight lines start bending. That's rolling shutter, and it's been one of the most persistent limitations of small drone cameras for years. A properly implemented stacked sensor could shrink that problem dramatically, which means smoother pans, cleaner motion during fast flying, and footage that finally looks like it came from something bigger than your hand. The 6K question. Here's where the leaks get more ambitious and more debated. Several reports claim the Mini 6 Pro could shoot in 6K. On the surface, that number is exciting. Shooting in 6K means you can punch in during editing, reframe a shot after the fact, or stabilize aggressively and still deliver a crisp 4K final export. That's a massive creative safety net. But here's the catch nobody wants to admit. Cramming 6K at 60 frames per second into an airframe that weighs less than a bag of sugar creates a heat problem that's genuinely difficult to solve. There's almost no room inside a sub-249-gram body for real cooling hardware. Because of that, most people who actually understand thermal design in compact electronics are skeptical that continuous 6K 60 is realistic on launch. The more believable middle ground being floated is unlimited 6K at 30 frames per second, with 6K 60 available only in shorter bursts before the drone throttles itself to avoid overheating. Even that compromise would still be one of the biggest imaging jumps the Mini line has ever seen. Just don't expect to shoot an entire wedding video at the highest frame rate without a break. The feature everyone's fighting over now. Here's the reveal I promised you at the very start, the feature that's got working professionals more excited than the sensor or the resolution combined: a mechanical variable aperture. If you've ever flown any drone in bright daylight, you already know the annoying dance. Lighting shifts, you have to land, screw on an ND filter, take off again. Hope the light hasn't changed again by the time you're back in the air. It's tedious, it breaks your creative flow, and it's cost more than one filmmaker a perfect shot. Leaks suggest the Mini 6 Pro could ship with an aperture that mechanically adjusts from roughly f1.7 all the way to f/11 completely on the fly, mid-flight, with no filters involved. This is normally something reserved for drones that cost 2 or 3 times as much and weigh several times more. Squeezing that mechanism into a featherweight body would be a genuinely impressive feat of miniaturized engineering. And it's the kind of upgrade that doesn't just look good on a spec sheet, it changes how you actually shoot outdoors, day to day, shot to shot. The software nobody's talking about here's something most coverage of this drone is glossing over completely. Hardware alone doesn't win anymore. Just look at what smartphones have proven over the last several years. Computational processing can matter just as much as the sensor itself. Leaked details point to a new imaging pipeline internally referred to as something like Scene Core 4.0, though that name may just be a placeholder DJI insiders are using. What matters isn't the branding, it's the direction. This system reportedly focuses on recovering more detail in blown-out highlights, pulling extra information out of shadows, cutting down noise in low light, and keeping fast-moving subjects sharp instead of smeared. That's DJI leaning into an approach the entire camera industry has already validated. Smarter processing beats simply piling on more megapixels. For creators, that likely means cleaner footage straight out of the drone, less time color correcting noisy shadows in post, and better usable footage during golden hour and blue hour, which is exactly when most cinematic drone shots actually get captured. The battery gamble now, let's talk about the number almost every comment section obsesses over: flight time. And this is genuinely where the rumors split hardest. Some optimistic leaks are throwing around a jaw-dropping 60 minutes of flight time. Read that back, a full hour in the air on a sub-249-gram drone. That number is impressive enough to sound almost unbelievable. And honestly, a healthy amount of skepticism is fair here. More conservative estimates land closer to 40 minutes under normal flying conditions, which would still be a real, noticeable jump over the current generation. Part of that gain is rumored to come from silicon-anode battery cells, which pack more energy density than the lithium polymer cells DJI currently uses. Silicon-anode chemistry has been showing up gradually across the consumer electronics world. Some premium smartphones and laptops have already made the switch, and drones are a natural next step, because every gram of extra flight time directly translates into more usable shooting time per battery, which is the single biggest quality of life factor for anyone flying professionally. Another piece of the puzzle could be a lighter carbon fiber reinforced airframe, which would cut weight, improve wind resistance, and reduce how hard the motors have to work just to stay stable. There's also chatter around faster charging. Some leaks mention a redesigned charging hub capable of topping off a battery noticeably quicker than the current generation, which matters a lot if DJI is also pushing longer flight times, since nobody wants to sit around for 90 minutes between flights just because the battery itself got bigger. Cold weather performance is another point worth watching. Silicon-anode cells have historically had mixed track records in low temperatures compared to standard lithium polymer chemistry, so how DJI manages winter flying performance could end up being one of the more interesting real-world tests once this drone actually ships. But here's the real challenge DJI's engineers are wrestling with. It's not building a better battery in isolation, it's fitting that battery alongside a bigger sensor, obstacle sensors, cooling systems, and reinforced materials, all while staying under that unforgiving 249-gram ceiling. That balancing act is genuinely one of the hardest problems in consumer drone design right now. And it's the reason so many leakers themselves seem split on which flight time number is actually going to hold up. A drone that thinks ahead. DJI's ActiveTrack system has quietly become one of the company's most underrated features, and leaks suggest the next version is getting a real intelligence upgrade. Right now, tracking largely reacts to what a subject does. The rumored upgrade points toward predictive tracking, a system that anticipates where a subject is heading rather than just following where they currently are. Picture this scenario: you're mountain biking solo, and you disappear behind a cluster of trees for a couple of seconds. Instead of losing you and waiting to reacquire the shot, a predictive system could estimate your likely path and keep the camera roughly where it needs to be, so tracking resumes almost instantly the moment you're back in view. Or think about trail running through varied terrain, skiing down a tree-lined slope, or even just walking a dog through a park with intermittent obstructions. Any scenario where the subject briefly leaves the frame is exactly where current tracking systems tend to fail, and current generation drones tend to lose the shot entirely. For solo creators, which, let's be honest, is a huge chunk of the mini-series audience, that kind of predictive intelligence could be the difference between a usable clip and a shot you have to scrap entirely. It also opens the door to more ambitious solo content in general, since creators become less dependent on perfectly open, obstruction-free environments to get a reliable tracking shot. Flying blind solved obstacle avoidance is getting attention too, and this time the focus is on conditions where lightweight drones have always struggled the most: low light. Some leaks point toward laser-assisted depth sensing, which would let the drone detect obstacles with far more precision when visual cameras alone start to lose reliability. Traditional camera-based obstacle sensing depends heavily on ambient light, which is exactly why night flying has always felt riskier on compact drones. The sensors that work perfectly well at noon become far less reliable the moment the sun goes down, right around the time a lot of the most visually striking footage is actually being captured. Add a laser-based sensing layer into the mix, and you get a meaningful safety net during evening, and low light shoots the kind of golden hour and after dark footage that looks incredible but has always carried real risk of a crash if the drone couldn't reliably see what was in front of it. This matters more than it might sound like on paper. Crashed drones aren't just an inconvenience, they're a genuine cost, both in replacement hardware and in lost footage that can never be recreated exactly the same way twice. A meaningfully more reliable low-light obstacle system could be one of those quiet, unglamorous upgrades that ends up mattering more to actual day-to-day flying than any of the headline camera specs. The signal fix nobody asked for transmission technology tends to get less hype than cameras, but it matters just as much when you're actually flying. The Mini 4 Pro already introduced DJI's O4 system, which delivered a serious jump in range and reliability. Leaks suggest the Mini 6 Pro could push that further with O4 Plus, or possibly an early implementation of O5. The real win here likely isn't just about maximum range, it's about performance in crowded, signal-noisy environments like cities, where interference from Wi-Fi networks and other devices causes far more dropped connections than distance ever does. A more resilient signal means fewer stutters in your live feed, and fewer moments where you're flying partially blind because your monitor froze at exactly the wrong second, which matters enormously if you're flying near people, traffic, or other obstacles where a half second of lag can be the difference between a clean flight and a genuine accident. Body, buttons, and the boring stuff that matters. Not every leak is about the headline specs, and honestly, some of the smaller design details are worth a mention because they affect how the drone actually feels to use day to day. A few leaks point toward a slightly revised arm folding mechanism, aimed at making the drone quicker to unfold and get into the air, a small thing. But anyone who's fumbled with stiff arms in cold weather while trying to catch a fast-moving shot knows exactly why that matters. There's also chatter about a redesigned remote controller with a brighter, higher-resolution built-in screen, addressing a long-standing complaint that current controller screens struggle badly in direct sunlight, which, ironically, is exactly when most people are out flying. On the cosmetic side, leaks mention the usual selection of understated colorways rather than anything flashy, which tracks with DJI's general approach to the Mini line. This has never really been a drone bought for how it looks sitting on a shelf. None of this is as exciting as a stacked sensor or a variable aperture, but small ergonomic improvements like these tend to be the details longtime users actually notice and appreciate the most once the excitement of a launch wears off. The elephant in the room now. Let's talk about the part of this story that has almost nothing to do with specs, and everything to do with whether you'll be able to legally buy this drone at all. In late 2025, DJI was added to the FCC's covered list in the United States. That single decision has made launching new DJI products in the US significantly more complicated, and it's not a minor regulatory footnote, it's a genuine existential threat to one of DJI's biggest markets. This isn't unprecedented. Either it echoes the path other Chinese technology companies have walked through US regulatory scrutiny in recent years, where national security reviews have gradually escalated into real restrictions on sales, imports, or infrastructure use. Think about what that actually means for a company that built its dominance largely on American creators, real estate photographers, and independent filmmakers. If DJI can't cleanly launch the Mini 6 Pro in the US, that's not just lost sales, it's a fundamental shift in strategy, potentially pushing DJI to lean even harder into international markets, alternative distribution channels, or partnerships designed to route around the restriction entirely. Some analysts have floated scenarios ranging from DJI partnering with a US-based company to handle domestic sales and support, to DJI essentially treating the US as a secondary priority market and focusing new feature rollouts on Europe and Asia, first a genuine reversal of how the company has historically operated. This is arguably a bigger story than any single camera spec in this video, because it doesn't just affect what the drone can do, it affects X whether you, depending on where you live, will have a straightforward path to owning one at all. Everything else we've covered is about capability. This is about access, and it deserves to weigh heavily in how you think about this launch. If you're in the US and you're planning around this drone, it's genuinely worth keeping an eye on how this regulatory situation develops over the next few months, because it could end up mattering more than every leaked spec combined. DJI isn't just racing itself even without the regulatory pressure. DJI would still be fighting a tightening market. Its own budget-tier drones keep getting more capable every generation, which forces a clearer line between beginner drone and professional compact drone, otherwise DJI ends up competing with itself. Outside the company, Autel Robotics keeps pushing the Evo Nano series forward, closing gaps that used to be automatic DJI wins, and Autel in particular stands to benefit disproportionately if US regulatory pressure on DJI continues to escalate, given Autel has positioned itself as a domestic-friendly alternative in some markets. Meanwhile, Hover has built a genuinely loyal following among solo creators by leaning hard into autonomous flight, appealing directly to people who don't have a second pilot or camera operator. It's also worth looking at this from a broader market angle. The compact drone category as a whole has grown significantly over the past few years, driven largely by content creators rather than traditional hobbyists, which means the competitive pressure isn't just about who has the better spec sheet, it's about who best understands that their actual customer is somebody trying to make a living or build an audience with the footage they capture. None of these competitors can fully match DJI's overall ecosystem yet, but the gap is shrinking year over year, and that competitive pressure is likely part of why these leaks show DJI pushing so aggressively on nearly every front at once: camera, battery, intelligence, and transmission, rather than picking just one area to improve. Price and release window. So, here's what you actually clicked for. When and how much? Based on DJI's typical 18 to 24-month product cycle, most industry analysts are pointing toward a release window somewhere between late 2026 and early 2027. That said, certification timelines and manufacturing bottlenecks have delayed drone launches before, so treat this as an educated estimate, not a locked date, and given the added complexity of the FCC situation we just covered, there's a real possibility the US release date ends up decoupled entirely from the global release date, something that hasn't really happened with a mainline DJI product before. On pricing, current projections suggest the standard Mini 6 Pro could launch around $999. If you're eyeing the Fly More combo, extra batteries, a charging hub, the usual accessory bundle, expect somewhere between $1,299 and $1,499, depending on exactly which hardware configuration DJI finalizes. There's also some chatter about a possible trade-in program aimed specifically at Mini 5 Pro owners, which would make sense given how recently that drone launched and how much overlap there's likely to be between the two audiences. If even half of the rumored features land the stacked sensor, variable aperture, predictive tracking, and a real battery jump, that pricing actually makes sense. It would position the Mini 6 Pro closer to professional tier tools while still keeping the portability advantage that made the Mini line popular in the first place. Final verdict. So, is the DJI Mini 6 Pro actually worth waiting for? If even a fraction of what's been leaked turns out to be accurate, I'd lean toward yes, and not because of any single spec on that list. It's the combination. This isn't shaping up to be the drone with the longest feature list on paper. It's shaping up to be the smartest compact drone DJI has built to date, one that hands creators professional-grade footage without forcing them to lug around a bigger, heavier rig. And if you strip away the marketing language, that's genuinely what most working filmmakers have wanted from this category all along. Full creative control in something that fits in a jacket pocket. The one asterisk hanging over all of it, of course, is that regulatory question. Because no matter how good this drone ends up being on paper, none of it matters if you can't actually get your hands on one. Before you go, I want to hear from you directly. Out of everything covered today, the stacked sensor, the variable aperture, predictive tracking, or that looming FCC situation, which one actually changes whether you'd buy this drone? Drop your pick in the comments, and if you're on the fence between two, tell me which one you'd sacrifice. And here's the honest truth. Leaks like this move fast, and details shift the closer we get to an official announcement. If you want to actually know when DJI confirms or denies any of this instead of finding out weeks late, subscribing and turning on notifications is genuinely the only way you won't miss it. I'll see you in the next one.